wasn't gonna do this story time over here on TikTok, but my girls on YouTube said this story time is very much TikTok worthy, and I shouldn't let her get away with this. And what's the quickest way for news to get out? It's on TikTok, y'all. That's why TikTok getting banned now. So I literally have, today's the 16th, TikTok is supposed to be banned on the 19th, so I literally have 4 days to get y'all this tea. And she's currently using my name and scamming people and bamboozling people using my name and my pictures. So I'm gonna go ahead and get it started. And the girlies over on YouTube did say this story time gives very much a Risa Tisa Lifetime movie. So I'm gonna title it Who the Fuck Did I Go on Vacation With? But no, I'm not trying to be like Risa Tisa, but she did snap when she come up with that name. In order for any of this to make sense, I do have to give y'all a little backstory. I'm an influencer. Well, not even an influencer. I'm a content creator. I don't even like to call myself an influencer because I just be doing me, and if the girls get influenced, they get influenced. But I just hop on camera. I do vlogs, girl chats, story time, travel content, just all types of content, y'all. I hop on camera just like this. I talk to my girls, and I've been doing that for the past 4 years. With that, I was able to grow a community of over 80,000 supporters over there on YouTube. For what milestone I was at on my YouTube channel, I probably had about 60,000 followers, and all of my followers were just like, Asia, why don't you do a meet and greet? I didn't want to do a meet and greet in the United States at like a venue or a restaurant because I wanted to be different. I do post a lot of travel content on my YouTube channel, so I was just like, how about I do my meet and greet in another country? So I decided to do my meet and greet in Antigua, Guatemala. And my whole sentiment was that people are not going to be weird to you. Like, no one's going to spend $2K plus and not like you. I've seen stories and heard stories of people pulling up to meet and greets, like how people pull up to concerts. They don't even like the artist, but they booing the artist, but they pulled up to a concert. So I didn't want no weirdness going on. I'm like, if you really mess with me, you're not going to fly out the country to go on a meet and greet trip with somebody you do not like. Boy, was I wrong. But we gonna get there, y'all. So I'm like, it's cool. Let's just go ahead and do it in Antigua. So me and all the girls planned this trip, and we went to Antigua, Guatemala. It was about 18 girls. I did bring one friend that I knew. We also stayed in a luxury villa with security. So everything was locked down. If somebody would have got there and acting crazy, they would have been escorted out, or they would have been going to jail in another country, because I don't do crazy in another country. So we had a ball, y'all. Nonetheless, we had a ball. Me and all my subscribers, we balled out. They were the epitome of sister from another mother. We literally didn't have any issues. We literally had a ball. After that trip, that gave me more confidence that you can own a travel company. That's when I came up with the company Travel Babes, because a lot of my followers was like, Asia, if you do this again, I would definitely accompany you on this trip. Like, I can see this being big for you. So I came up with the company called Travel Babes. Travel Babes is a all-women travel group. Y'all know how it is. Everybody ready to go on a trip until it's time to pay. Then they asking, what's the dates again? How much to deposit? Yeah, so I have an all-women travel group for women that want to travel out the country, and you don't want to wait on nobody. You don't want to wait till your friend get paid. You just want to go on a trip. That's what my travel company is for. About 2 months after I launched my travel company, I received a DM on Instagram from a random page, and the page, the person's name, it wasn't their actual name. It was just like an Instagram name, y'all. They messaged me and they was just like, hey, I do same day passports. They was in my group chat because they seen a lot of women was asking like, hey Asia, I would love to go on a Travel Babes trip, but I do not have a passport. Person that DM'd me, we're just gonna call them Lulu because I do not remember their Instagram name. They got blocked. But at the time, Lulu seen that there was an opportunity, so she DM'd me and was like, hey, can you post on your Travel Babes highlight that I do same day passports, and I'll just charge your followers a small fee. At the time, I told them I was not comfortable with it because I don't know what you're doing. You could be telling people that you losing a kidney to make it to a trip, or you could be telling people that your grandma on her deathbed. I don't know what type of fraudulent activity you're doing to get these people same day passports. The only way I knew about getting a same day passport was just going on a website, applying for it, getting an appointment, and going to your appointment. So I basically told that person, Lulu, I'm just like, no, I don't feel comfortable in posting this on my page, because if you scam somebody, they're gonna think you're associated with me when you're not. So y'all keep Lulu in mind. So I told Lulu that, told them no disrespect. I don't want to do it just because I don't know the ins and out of it. And two, you're not offering me anything. You charging my followers a $20 small fee off of every same day passport that you do, and it's posted on my page, and I'm not even getting a cut out of it. So I just told them, I appreciate you for reaching out, but no thank you. Fast forward to about 2 weeks later, I see Lulu in my follow requests on Instagram. At this time, I probably had about 5,000 followers. So anybody that went in and unfollowed me, I know. And I used to have an app where I track my followers. Don't make me think I'm the only one that do that. I know y'all do that too. But anyway, I used to track my followers, y'all. And that same page, Lulu, it said Lulu followed you. And Lulu been following me 2 weeks ago when they were in my DMs asking me, hey, can you put same day passports in your bio? But all of a sudden that person followed me again. So I thought that was weird, but I was just like, okay, they followed me back, I'm not gonna follow this person. I just left it like that. Fast forward a week after that, I get a request from one of my followers. At the time, I'm saying followers. I'm thinking this person is a follower of mine, and they said they were shooting their friend shot. I'm gonna go ahead and put the screenshot right here, and I have my receipts right here, so I'm about to read off my phone. So right here, she said, I'm shooting my friend's shot. She put the little sad face, and she put a heart, the little heart sign, y'all. And mind you, I'm a YouTuber. I get messages like this all the time. I'm not thinking anything of it. I'm thinking it's just one of my supporters shooting their friend's shot. When I first moved to Houston, I'm friends to me and one of my two closest friends. I met them through YouTube. So I respond to my DMs. I'm not one of those girls that think I'm better, like, no. If you shooting your friend shot, then we can make that happen. So I'm assuming that this is just one of my friends off social media. I'm just thinking this is just one of my supporters. You know, I'm going with the flow, y'all. I put a little open dolly, a little open goal, and I said, hey, boo. She wrote back, and we're gonna call this person the imposter. The imposter wrote back and said, what are you up to? I'm currently journaling out my goals for the month. At this time, y'all see this message was sent on February the 4th at 5:37. I said, hey boo, I just left the park. I was practicing flying my drone. At this time, I was getting ready to go on one of those travel babes trips. I'm gonna put the messages right here, but as y'all can see, we're just doing a whole bunch of small talk until the imposter sends me a message and she says, hey, I suck at small type. I'm the type of person just to go straight into a conversation. LOL. Do you mind telling me about yourself? And y'all, when she sent this message, I was getting all types of red flags going off. I was just like, what? Why are you typing like you an ending and scammer? Why are you typing like we on a job interview? Why are we typing like we just matched on Tinder? That was a red flag. Like for part 2 of who the fuck did I go on vacation with? Part 2 of who the fuck did I go on vacation with? I woke up this morning and y'all was in my comment section talking about you only got 30 minutes. You only got 30 minutes. So y'all really think TikTok is leaving us? I wouldn't have started this story time series on here if I thought TikTok was leaving. But let's go ahead and jump into it. So we last left off at her basically saying, tell me about yourself. And I thought it was odd. I remember vividly receiving that message and I asked my man because he was beside me. I was just like, babe, is this not weird? Like, who tells me, tell me about yourself? That's something that they tell you on an interview, like, tell me why you want the position. So I thought it was really weird, but she said she was shooting a friend shot, y'all, and I don't know her. Maybe people from different cities have different lingo. I wrote her back and I was like, me too, and what you mean? Like, where I'm from, like my hobbies, y'all, I was perplexed. I was confused. She wrote back and was like, yes, I'll go first. I'm gonna go ahead and put the screenshot right here. Y'all can pause and read, and I'm just gonna give y'all a summary of what it said. She said her name. She said that she was a truck driver. Please remember, this is very, very important. She said she was a truck driver and a travel advisor, currently headed to Las Vegas. I enjoy traveling, shopping, going out to eat. It's always good to try something new. Skydiving, picnics, park, hobbies. I'm a travel and life on the road content creator. I journal and I write urban fiction short stories and I work out. I call myself the planner of the group. I initiate activities, trips, and things to do together, and I encourage my friends to show effort as well. Again, she don't have no friends, so what friends are you encouraging? But this is what she put all in the first little message. This is, I believe, the 4th message she ever sent me. This is her explaining herself and what she do. And my response to all of that was, hey boo, it sounds like you live an adventurous and fulfilling life as a truck driver and travel advisor. I love to travel too. Remember y'all, at this point I have my travel company. I already made a public post on my profile that I started Travel Babe. So me traveling, like my whole Instagram is just literally me going on vacation. So all of this is evident. So I said, you're absolutely right. Building lifelong sisterhood can definitely be hard in today's time. I'm grateful that I found my lifelong friends in high school. We've been friends for 10 plus years, and open communication and respect is definitely what kept us going. Also said, why did you shoot your friend shot with me? Question mark. I'm always up for meeting new people and growing friendships organically because I came across too many opportunities. And y'all, this is exactly what this was. Y'all seen, I was already skeptical because typically when girls hop in my DM and they say they shoot a friend shot, they already know me from social media. So they come out and they're transparent and they just be like, hey Asia, I watch you over on YouTube. I'm shooting my friend shop, or hey Asia, I see that we live in Houston. Like, it's a reason. She didn't list no reason. She just said she was shooting her friend shop, and then she went on to tell me that she want to find somebody that she can trust around her man, her kids, go on vacation with. She don't mind spending top dollar with. Like, she just started laying all of this on me. So in the my very first reply back to her, I was already kind of just like, why you reached out to me, because I already been in contact and dealt with opportunists in my past. So she liked that message. Let me go back to her reply. This is her reply right here, y'all. She said, I love that, and I shot my friend shop because you seem really nice, intriguing, and you're also educated and have something going for yourself. In parentheses, me too. I told myself this year I want to surround myself with Black women who have similar interests, goals, and hobbies, and who may be doing better than me, so I can motivate myself and elevate in that manner. I came across opportunities as well. That's why I'm shy. That's why I shy away from making new friends. How did you shy away from making new friends? When you hopped in my DMs. And she's a serial DM hopper. But we gonna get there, y'all. So she said, but I do not want a sisterhood, some say. So I want to keep trying. And also, out of respect for you, we don't have to rush into friendship, but the expectations in my long-term friendship is trust and mutual trust. I want to be able to trust you around my things, my future husband, my children. This is when she said that, y'all. This was her reply after I stated, like, why did you reach out to me? Because she didn't mention knowing me from anywhere. So I replied to her. She mentioned something about her going to Dubai or whatever, and trips or whatever. And then her reply back to that after I replied, y'all can pause and read. She said, ain't nothing wrong with that, girl, and I am so proud of you. How do you find the money and time to travel so much? I'm so curious. People ask me that, and the way I am able to do such is because I'm a trucker. I'm my own boss. I create my own hours with working for a base company. I earn 7 days of vacation every 14 days. I also make a lot of money weekly in this career, plus my travel business as a side income. She's mentioning that she has a travel business, y'all, and she's asking me, how do I make my money and how do I have so much time to travel? If you've been following me on YouTube, I post videos over there consistently. So my girls know what I do for work. They know I have posted videos about how I get to travel so much, and I have posted travel tip videos. So if you've been keeping up with me over on YouTube, you would know that. But she's coming off as just a random person. She's seen me on Instagram, and she said that it seems like I'm educated and I got my stuff together and we have similar hobbies. So that's why she shot her shot. Please, y'all, please keep up, okay? Plus my travel business as a side income. On her page, there was no evidence of her having a travel business, but this is just what she's telling me in the DMs. She says, I pretty much use my flexible schedule and additional income to be a hot gal. I also may look into going on one of your group trips in the future. I love how organized everything is. This was my response. Y'all can go ahead and pause and read. After that, let me see. Oh, I didn't write her back. She wrote me back, and I didn't write her back for a couple of days because I was going on one of my travel bait trips. When I'm on my business trips, I'm not on social media like that. I'm really catering and tending to my girls. So I wrote her back like maybe 4 days later, and I was like, sorry for the late response. I just got back in town. I will respond tomorrow. Because when I got back in town, it was 11:19. As y'all can see with the timestamp, I had literally just got picked up from the airport, and I said good night. Okay, y'all, so I'm not going to read all of that, but basically we were conversing in the DMs for about 2 weeks. One day I get a notification from Instagram. It says Weirdo mentioned you in her story, and y'all know when somebody mentions you, it goes to your DM. So I click on the DM, and it's a picture, like an old, not a picture, it's a video. It's a video of me from YouTube that, it was like something I posted like weeks ago or whatever, and she wrote on the picture, my friend is so funny. And I'm sitting there looking at the message, the DM stupid. I'm like, did she call me her friend because we've been conversing for the past 2 weeks? You know how people call people friends on social media, like they're social media friends. So is that what she mean? Or do she actually think we're friends and she's been watching me for years over on YouTube? So I wrote her back with the laughing emojis, and I was just like, well, how you found that video? And she was like, oh, I was just on YouTube. And I was like, that looked like Asia. And she found my video. What was weird about this is I don't cross promote on Instagram. On YouTube, I'll be like, follow me on Instagram. But I never say follow me on YouTube, on my Instagram. I've never ever in history posted my YouTube link, my TikTok link, any other links on my Instagram. The only link that's on my Instagram is my website or my business page. I don't cross promote to my Facebook, to my YouTube. So there's no way you could find my YouTube channel without probably searching my name. Like if you search my Instagram name into YouTube, it'll probably pop up because I put it in the description box below all my videos. But I do not cross promote on Instagram. On Instagram. So I don't know how she would have saw my YouTube channel just randomly, y'all. But like I said, like for part 3. Never trust a female that's desperate for a friend. Part 3 of who the fuck did I go on vacation with? On the last story time, I told y'all I get this mention on Instagram and it says weirdo mention you on her story. When I click on the story, it says haha, or it says laughing my ass off, my friend is so funny. So when I see this, I click on it and I'm like, question mark, and I react to it with a laughing emoji because I'm questioning her like, how the fuck did you find my YouTube? You just said that you see me on your Explorer page, but all of a sudden you know that I have a YouTube channel and you quote in quotations that I'm your friend. I didn't know if she was calling me her friend because we had just been mingling for the past week, or I didn't know if she felt like we had a parasocial relationship because she had already been following me on a previous platform. So she wrote me back and then she was just like, oh, I searched your name and I found your YouTube channel. Your YouTube channel came up. And at this time, y'all, that was the biggest red flag. That was the ding, 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 ding. The siren should have been going off in my head. And I should have just left that shit on scene, which I did that particular day. She followed up the next day saying, like, hey, good morning, how you're doing? You know, small talk. At that time, y'all, I was currently on vacation and I had a lot going on. So I wasn't thinking, y'all. I'm not going to lie. It was definitely a red flag that all of a sudden you found me on another platform, which I told y'all I did not cross promote. So I went ahead and engaged in a conversation with her. We're just going back and forth in the DMs. During this time, I'm not going to hold you, I did peep that she was asking a lot of questions. Like she was asking a whole bunch of questions about my travel page, my business. Because like I stated, on my Instagram profile, there was a post about my business. And if you know me, I post about my life. I post about my life on all platforms. So she was just asking me a lot of questions about my business, how I make money. I was telling her how I make money and she was just asking a whole bunch of questions. Then she goes on to say, oh, I hate opportunists. I have dealt with a lot of opportunists because I questioned her and asked her hey, why did you reach out to me from all people? She goes on and say that she's came across a lot of opportunists, a lot of people that weren't genuine and people that just want to use you. And at the time, y'all, she said all of this just to seem relatable to me. And I don't recall exactly what I was saying. I do have the longer version of this on YouTube, so y'all can go and watch that over there. But basically, we were just going back and forth, doing a whole bunch of small talk, talking about how we just genuine vibes around each other. I was telling her how about some of my friendships that I've had with my long-term friends, and she was just telling me how she has just a hard time finding a friend, but she really wants a friend, y'all. That should have been a red flag because like I said, never trust a person that's desperate for a friend. But I digress. After she ends up telling me about a little bit of her upbringing, her background, I'm giving her a little bit insight on my upbringing and my background. At this time, I told y'all I was about 8 or 9 months into my travel business, and I did have 2 other people that worked for me, but at the time they could not accompany me on this trip. So I thought maybe this was a sign from God, because my first business partner, she couldn't accompany me because she only had about a week of PTO and she wasn't going to be able to go on that trip. She wasn't going to be able to take off because she also had a personal trip around this time. And then my second business partner, she was actually a subscriber of mine before I even met her. And we end up doing business together because I met her, I vibed with her, and that's how she became my business partner. And she was also supposed to be a consumer on that trip, but due to some unforeseen circumstances, she told me she was not going to be able to go on that trip. So I did have a third business partner that could have accompanied me, but I thought at the time, me talking to this girl and this girl telling me all about how she has 7 days of PTO. She's a truck driver. She just has so much time on her hand and she would be willing to go on this trip. And she even stated that she would pay for her own flight. So that was going to save me money with my budget. She sends me this voice note. I'm not going to insert the voice note over here, but I'm basically going to just summarize what the voice note said, y'all. It says something along the lines of that she had booked this trip to Cartagena, Colombia with a travel company. I recall the name of the travel company. I want to say it was Divas, but I'm I'm not really sure. It was like something with divas in the title. And she stated the whole objective of her going on this trip was to pitch the company at the end of the trip. She was just going on the trip just to see how they ran, if they was organized, if they was prompt, if they was nice. She just wanted to get a inside scoop on how this travel company ran, and if she liked the travel company at the end of the trip, she was gonna pitch this travel company. And y'all, I'm on the phone with her this night hearing her say all of this, and I'm just like, wow, this girl came in my life, and she's telling me that she's passionate about travel. She's also telling me that she is a photographer and a videographer, and she's telling me that she pretty much has a week of paid PTO for a week every month, so she would be able to go on this trip. And she stated that she made 6 figures at this time. I mentioned this in my last story time, and I'm going to mention it in this one just simply because this is a big part of the reason why I thought she was going to be a possible good candidate or whatever. So we talked for about, a month before I decided that she'll be a good candidate to go on this trip. I told her how I do stuff. Before I bring anybody on my team, we basically do a trial trip. This was going to be a trial trip for her to go to Bali, Indonesia with me. So during this time, I don't want to just go on a trip with a stranger. I'm trying to get to know her the best I can, y'all. We're communicating a lot. We're on the phone a lot. And I'm not even the type of person that be on the phone with people a lot. But because I wanted to see if she was going to be a good business partner or not, and I noticed that she had attachment issues during this time. Like, it'll be times where she would message me, and if I didn't message her back in a timely manner, she would then send me like a DM on Instagram or Facebook, or she might send me a TikTok, and she wanted just to see if I was going to open the message on social media but not reply to her. And sometimes if I did see the message on social media first, she'll text me and be like, hey, did you see my text? Like, she always thought somebody was ignoring her. Some of the times we would talk on the phone, I noticed that she would just be saying some off the wall stuff, or she would just ask very like arbitrary questions, like questions that didn't have to do with anything. Like, one day she asked me a question like, do I gossip? Like, do I like cheesemate? Like, what type of question is that? I feel like if you got a vagina, you talk. Girls talk amongst themselves. That's a normal thing for people to talk. I hate people that act fake positive, fake woke, and act like they don't talk about celebrity gossip, or they don't have a little cheesemate every once in a while. So I'm like, yeah, I do, but I don't spread like rumors about people or anything like that. But of course, I do talk amongst myself and amongst my girls. So I thought that was weird, y'all. And again, like I said, I thought maybe some of the questions and the things that she would say would be odd or weird because, like I said, y'all, she don't have any friends, so she don't probably have anybody in her life to tell her, like, girl, what the fuck are you talking about? She don't have nobody to tell her that. One particular day, I was talking to her on the phone, and her boyfriend was in the background because, like I said, her and her boyfriend, they worked together for this trucking agency, and he was, like, always around. One day, we're on FaceTime, and he comes out of nowhere, and he's like, see, babe, you was just crying a few months ago talking about you don't have any friends, and now you have Asia. Like I mentioned in part 2 of this story time, I told y'all that I'm getting to know her. I'm going to talk to her. I'm going to communicate with her. But just because I'm conversing and having conversation with you and trying to get to know the type of business partner you would be, that doesn't mean that we're friends. So when he say this, I get real quiet. I'm like, and then she's like, babe, Asia say we not friends. Asia say we not friends. She don't like to mix business with pleasure. Not pleasure, y'all. That's crazy. I was just like, what you mean? I'm supposed to be rude or like mean to her because like, what am I supposed to say? And he was just like, bro, I don't care what you say. Y'all friends. And she was like, yeah, I don't care what you say either. We friends. We've been talking all day, every day, like all the time. We're basically friends at this point. Like for part 4.